Hi, this is Naget Rutledge, and I am doing a research project on Japanese communication. So, nonverbal signals, verbal signals, relationship status, religion, culture, all of these things have to do with how we communicate. Now, Japan is very different in the way that they are a homogenous culture, okay? So they're on the same page with everything. Communication World, a website designed to help encourage success in communication, published an article by Sune Kobayashi called Characteristics of Japanese Communication. And in it, he explains that people are expected to understand the thoughts of others without communicating. Japan is a special case because they have a single race, single religion, single culture, right? And that hasn't changed for thousands of years. So the question then becomes, when everyone is on the same page, how does that affect communication? So let's start with relationships. Loving and liking mean different things to us and to the Japanese. When we say that we love things, we love strawberries, we love animals, we love our spouse. All of those things carry different weights, but we use the same word. In Japan, they actually have 3 different words to connotate 3 different meanings. The first one being suki, the second being koi, and the third being ai. Now with suki, that is something that you would equate in America to I like. I like ice cream. I like going out for walks. I like you. You're my friend, right? Koi is actually something a level above that in meaning. And it would be used in situations such as like a long-term relationship, somewhere where you've had a boyfriend for 2 or 3 years. You might use suki because that means I like you. It still means like, but it means it in a deeper way. So they often interchange that with the word love. And the reason is because love is such an important word, such a deep word, such an intense word for the Japanese that it's very rarely used. It's contextually dependent, and it might even mean love in a more lighthearted way, but it's the only true love word that they have. Now, arguments in relationships, they don't happen in the same way. Love isn't heated and loud like we would think of Latin love. It's gentle, it's calm, it's subdued, and it is yelling at each other is just completely out of the question. So if we delve deeper into the mechanics of relationship, we'll come across a topic called ame. And ame is actually a individual's inappropriate behavior where they assume that somebody else is going to do what they want them to do, even if it's not necessarily convenient. So a woman might be at home, she's cooking, she's cleaning, she's taking care of the kids. The husband's been at work for 12 hours and he comes home and everybody's good and she wants to go to dinner, she wants to go to dancing, she wants to go to a movie, and she tells him this. He takes her, right? He takes her because it makes him feel good to be needed and wanted by her. And she asks because he's her husband. That sort of supposition, right, may be inappropriate in our eyes, but is totally understandable in theirs. Everyone's happy in that case. Now, if we look at the work side of Japan, we know that Japan is a very masculine country, so we'll look at the men in the workplace. So in the same article on Communication World by Sune Kobayashi, he says a characteristic of communication has to do with customs, okay? In this case, labor customs. So this is seen in seniority and in life employment versus the merit system that we have here in America. Now, if you're in a situation where seniority and life employment is the biggest factor in your success, how likely are you to get into an argument with your boss, per se? A well-known news source, The Economist, published an article called The Salaryman's Song, A Cheeriness in Japan. Now, in this article, it states that these days, the salaryman, workers of Japan's economic miracle, is a national joke. It talks about middle-aged Japanese men. Recently, their suicide rates climbing so high that they're making a real difference to the profitability of life insurers. Okay, so these men go into work, they have 18-hour days, no time for relationships. They come out of work, and what do? How do they communicate and connect with other people? So, it's still an important factor. And The Economist talks about how the salaryman might take time to unwind, saying that all the silence and ceremony can get to you, so they often participate in karaoke. So they have karaoke bars, and they're cheerier places. It's a window that they have to communicate freely and rally around each other outside of the workspace. And also a way to prepare for the day ahead. Now, instead of emotional outbursts, the way that Japanese people communicate their feelings would seem restrained to us, but it carries a quiet weight and often a double meaning with each encounter. These are things that you are able to, like I say, understand rather than speak to each other. So, through this talk we've been having, we have touched on a lot. We talked about how communication is key, and it is. We've talked about how it touches every part of our daily lives. I just want you to take a moment to think about what motivates your style of communication. Is it your religion, your family values, the place where you grew up, or do you have pressures from society that influence how you communicate? If you take a look at the bigger picture, the society, the demographic, the proximity of the people around you, you may find deeper meaning and more understanding in the conversation you have day after day.